Tucker Carlson is out. Shunned. Or maybe that should be free at last. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is another Declaration of Truth from your host, Terry A. Hurlbut. Fox News Channel was positively the last of the mainstream media that had any credibility left. Today, they wasted it by firing Tucker Carlson shortly after the $787.5 million settlement with Dominion Voting Services. Or possibly to placate such legislative leaders as Representative Alejandra Ocasio-Cortez of Nueva York, or Senator Charles M. Schumer, also of New York. As may be, Tucker Carlson has no more ties to the mainstream media, and Fox News has no more credibility. Fox is losing already, and if the latest reports are accurate, Tucker Carlson has already found a new home. I'm going to give you the straight dope on why Tucker left, and I'm going to name names as to who is responsible for that disgraceful decision. You Fox shareholders, take note. In fact, I'm going to surprise you. But first, I do want to shout out to the prime sponsor of this channel, which is Conservative News and Views. Link in the description. And be sure to check out the awesome CNAV Store. Scroll down near the bottom for that link. Lots of great merchandise there, especially this t-shirt that I've chosen for today, which quotes Plato as saying, "No man is more hated than he who speaks the truth." One more thing. If you like what you're about to hear, you can like this video. You can also click the bell icon to get a notice every time I come out with a new one. In fact, do you see the new icon, the heart shape with the US dollar sign in it? That's the super thanks icon. If you really want to keep these videos coming, click that and leave me a tip. Any currency will do, so long as it's legal tender. And now, first, what does it really mean for Tucker Carlson to get fired? And no one, aside from those of us still capable of logical deduction, cared to utter the verb "to fire" in connection with Tucker Carlson. The etymology, or the origin of the verb "to fire," meaning to discharge from employment, is interesting in itself. It derives from the former custom of carrying an executive's desk out into the street outside the company headquarters and setting fire to it. John C. Patterson, head of the National Cash Register Company, did this to Thomas H. Watson. Watson went on to buy the computing, tabulating, and recording company and rename it International Business Machines. The rest is history. A history with which I am familiar because I actually had a gig with IBM back in the 80s in between medical school years. All of which to say that Tucker Carlson need have no worry about his sudden discharge. He has an asset, his fan base, that he can leverage for a success of which Thomas Watson scarcely dreamed. And Rupert Murdoch, as owner and head of Fox, will have more egg on his face than John Patterson ever thought of having. Now, how do we know that Tucker Carlson didn't simply walk away? Well, we have that from the Los Angeles Times, and Fox News hasn't contradicted that, not even close. Moreover, the order came from Rupert Murdoch. The word comes from a number of Messrs. Piffwits, who cite two cases, and not the Dominion voting case. And for what it's worth, Dominion specifically denied that they demanded that Tucker Carlson go from the network. You'd think they would want to gloat. So if they don't, it's because they well and truly do not have any gloating rights. So if it was not the Dominion case, then what case? Actually, the case that it is turns out to be related to the Dominion case. Abby Grossberg recently lost her own job as a producer at Fox. She is suing for discrimination and intentional emotional distress. She further alleges that Fox pressured her into giving false or misleading information at deposition in the Dominion case. Fox denies that and accuses her of disclosing company confidential information. Tanvir Rahman, counsel for Ms. Grossberg, told the Times, and here I quote, Tucker Carlson's departure from Fox News is, in part, an admission of the systemic lying, bullying, and conspiracy mongering claimed by our client, former top producer Abby Grossberg. Mr. Carlson and his subordinates remain individual defendants in the Southern District of New York case, and we look forward to taking their depositions under oath in the very near term. Unquote, Tanvir Rahman. And when a lawyer boasts like that, you can take them at their word, while also thinking that they're acting like maniacs. In fact, Tucker's senior executive producer, Justin Wells, has followed him out of the company. And he was involved with Abby Grossberg, not intimately, but as her immediate supervisor, an association he will likely regret to the end of his days. I know, I've been there. Tucker Carlson also exclusively handled the security camera footage from the January 6th event after Representative Kevin McCarthy of California, Speaker of the House, granted him that access. His analysis clearly showed that Capitol Police shepherded some protesters into the Capitol. These included the so-called QAnon shaman. I've talked about this before. Elon Musk urged early release for this man after reviewing Tucker Carlson's coverage, and this actually happened. Now, according to the Times' Messrs. Piffwitz, Murdoch took exception to this turn of events and punished Carlson for it. Now, Fox News said in an email to other media outlets, including the Western Journal, the following, quote, Fox News Media and Tucker Carlson have agreed to part ways. We thank him for his service to the network as a host and prior to that as a contributor. Mr. Carlson's last program was Friday, April 21st. Fox News Tonight will air tonight live at 8 p.m. ET. Starting this evening as an interim show helmed by rotating Fox News personalities until the new host is named. Close quote. And after that came a description of their holdings, which is neither here nor there. Now, according to Mediaite, people in the company know better. Tucker Carlson did not make his Friday show a goodbye show. The news shocked Carlson as much as it did anyone outside the company. Nor, apparently, did anyone at Fox give Carlson the courtesy of any notice. He heard about it online, same as everybody else. Now, you might as well know. Two prominent Democrats showed how little regard they have for freedom of the press when they both wanted Tucker disallowed. Before I describe that, I want to shout out to a sponsor who can really help you through the economic storms to come. That sponsor is oursilverlines.com. Do you feel like you're working harder for your money just to get by? You are not alone. Fluctuating economy, employment issues, unexpected changes in life have left many families struggling over the past few years. Collecting gold and silver can help shield you against many of these challenges. But if you're like me many years ago, you don't know where or how to start. Our Silver Lines helps by connecting you with thousands of members who are learning the secrets to creating and protecting true wealth by collecting precious metals. Now, whether you just want to collect rare and unique coins or take advantage of the business opportunities this company provides, either way, they can help you learn to live an exceptional life. Visit oursilverlines.com to learn how you can build a legacy for your future. Now, only Sunday, Representative Alejandra Ocasio-Cortez of New York said to former White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki, now the hostess of her own TV show, that Dominion shouldn't have settled with Fox. I quote, "What would have been best for the country would have been to demand an apology and to not settle until we got that," unquote AOC, who then accused Tucker Carlson of inciting violence in his programming. Quote, "We have very real issues with what is permissible on air. We saw that with Jan 6, and we saw that in the lead up to Jan 6, and how we navigate questions, not just of freedom of speech, but also accountability for incitement of violence. This is the line that we have to really explore through law as well. I believe that when it comes to broadcast television like Fox News, these are subject to federal law, federal regulation in terms of what's allowed on air and what isn't. When you look at what Tucker Carlson and some of these other folks on Fox do, it is very, very clearly incitement of violence. Very clearly incitement of violence, and that is the line that we have to be willing to contend with, close quote. There, it's on record. And you can watch it on Jen Psaki's own Twitter account. I have the tweet in the description. Senator Charles M. Schumer, also of New York, had made a more forthright demand. He actually demanded that Rupert Murdoch take Tucker Carlson off the air. I have a link in the description to a tweet by Charlie Kirk embedding video of Senator Schumer saying just that. And when he did, I blew it off. But Rupert Murdoch actually obliged. Hey Rupert, if you hear this and you want to dispute me on this, leave a comment. Let's see what fortitude you have between your legs. Fox evidently tried to pretend that nothing untoward was happening. But its stock closed at $29.91 per share, down 91 cents or 2.95% on the day. The chart shows a precipitous drop between 11:34 and 11:48 a.m. Eastern. Its performance outlook short-term predicts a drop over the next 2 to 6 weeks. And I have a link in the description to a tweet showing Fox stock chart in the middle of the day. It actually looked worse, but not much worse. Fox watchers made other dire predictions. I have links in the description to 12 tweets giving these reactions. Bye-bye ratings. Your stock and the ratio on this post says it all. Bye-bye Fox. Breaking. Fox News is dead. There's no reason to watch Fox if Tucker is gone. Fox News, R.I.P. Now, for those of you in Rush Limbaugh's favorite town of Rio Linda, R.I.P. stands for Requiescat in Pace. That is to say, may he, she, or it rest in peace. Good luck, Fox. Your ratings should match CNN soon. I think it changes things permanently. That's quoting Donald Trump Jr. Fox needed Tucker more than Tucker needed Fox. Well, Fox Nation's about to do a CNN Plus. Zounds! A direct reference to CNN trying to start an app, which was very poorly received. I am positively shocked regarding Tucker Carlson, the greatest talent at Fox News. That's from Candace Owens. And here, breaking. Tucker Carlson is leaving Fox News. I hope his next gig is $100 million or more deal with Spotify or Rumble. He is a fearless warrior for truth and has one of the biggest audiences in America. This isn't the end of Tucker. And last, breaking. Tucker is leaving Fox. FNC is done. And here's another thing. Tucker Carlson is only the second big-name host to leave Fox News in a week. Dan Bongino left the network, saying he and they couldn't come to terms on a new contract. But that came directly after the Dominion settlement, so perhaps Mr. Bongino was being uncharacteristically charitable, and perhaps on advice of counsel. The Western Journal notes that former Representative Paul Ryan of Wisconsin, who also is a former Speaker of the House, sits on the Fox board. This leads many to call Fox Ryan's Fox. Noon had barely struck when Glenn Beck apparently offered Tucker Carlson a gig on Blaze Media. I have links in the description to both a tweet and a Rumble video in which Glenn Beck comes right out and says, quote, Tucker Carlson and I have become friends, and hopefully I'll be able to talk with him today. I don't know what the situation is, but Tucker, come to Jamaica. We would love to have you here. You wouldn't miss a beat, and together, the two of us would tear it up. Just tear it up. Unquote Glenn Beck. Now that direct quote from Glenn Beck is the strongest evidence yet that he truly did offer Tucker Carlson another gig. Now, Tucker Carlson could join Blaze Media or he could found his own network. In the meantime, Rupert Murdoch and his two sons have by now shown that they have no regard for the truth. Any actual trial of Grossberg versus Carlson et al. Should prove interesting for the pre-trial discovery. Aside from that, Murdoch chose what he thought was a limit on liability exposure. Now let's assume that Carlson couldn't sue Tucker. Carlson couldn't sue that CEO for breach of contract, or Murdoch for breach of contract or breach of promise. Well, what will Murdoch have to say to the shareholders that as the ratings continue to slide and the stock with them? In the British Commonwealth, they have an expression for that kind of thing. Penny wise and pound foolish. Now, for his part, Carlson will no longer have to deal with having to be careful. Now he can say exactly as he pleases. Now, that cannot please the likes of AOC and Chuck the Schmuck. What do you think they're going to do next? Stay tuned. Links to the description of the article, to the AOC and Jen Psaki interview, to video of Chuck Schumer ordering Rupert Murdoch to take Tucker Carlson off the air, to the tweet showing Fox stock chart, showing it tanking, to those 12 reaction tweets, to tweet and video showing Glenn Beck offering Tucker a gig, to my Declarations of Truth Twitter account, and to Conservative News and Views. I've also left links to the awesome CNAV Store and to ourcivilines.com, as I also mentioned. You know already about how to like a video, turn on notifications, and leave a tip. On the end screen, I'm going to leave a subscribe link to my channel and links to my January 6th playlist and 2 videos from influencers I know talking about Tucker Carlson and his abrupt leave-taking. This is Terry A. Hurlbut, delivering another Declaration of Truth and reminding you to let the truth set you free.